Serengeti National Park is Africa's most famous park due to the largest concentration of game on the continent and the migration of millions of wildebeest. The most impressive nature documentaries were shot in this beautiful park. Serengeti comes from the Maasai language meaning endless plains, and this rightly describes it. With almost 15,000 square kilometers, 6,000 sq miles, Serengeti National Park is the second largest park in Tanzania. Serengeti National Park is located in Tanzania and is part of the larger Serengeti ecosystem, which covers 12,000 square miles, 30,000 square kilometers, and includes several other game reserves. The national park itself covers an area of 5,700 square miles, 14,750 square kilometers. It is a GANP ambassador park and runs contiguously with the Masai Mara in Kenya. The name Serengeti is derived from a similar Masai word which translates, the place where land runs on forever. It is also affectionately known as the Endless Plains. The area is comprised of grassland plains, savanna, riverine forest, and woodlands. Although the majority of the park is open plains, the elevation does vary from 3,000 to 6,000 feet, 914 to 1,828 m. The lofty rock croppings spawn visions of the movie Lion King, and it is possible you may even see lions on them. The Serengeti, Ngorongoro Crater, and Mount Kilimanjaro are almost inseparable when it comes to traveling to Tanzania. Visitors will almost always experience the three of these together. Ngorongoro Crater and the Serengeti share the migrating wildebeest, zebra, and impala herds. In general, the park is often described as three regions with boundaries of the national park. The primary area is the Serengeti Plains, where the wildebeest breed. A second area is a western corridor featuring black clay-covered savannas. This area is home to crocodiles and hippopotamuses. The hippo pool located near this region is a guaranteed place to see hippos sleeping and wallowing around. The third area is the northern Serengeti, which is where the majority of hills and woodlands occur. This is the best place to find an elephant and a giraffe. The Serengeti National Park is globally renowned for its abundance and variety of wildlife as well as high biodiversity. The Big Five, lion, leopard, elephant, rhino, and buffalo, can all be experienced in the park. Except for the mountain gorilla, all of Africa's Big Seven, lion, leopard, elephant, rhino, hippo, and crocodile, can be found in the national park. Predators beyond the lion and leopard include cheetah, hyena, jackals, African golden wolf, honey badger, serval, and the African wild dog. Because the park landscape is so open, there is a fair chance that you will see most of the predator species. Keep your eyes open for gathered safari vehicles. You can almost guarantee if there are more than 3 gathered together, they are looking at lion or leopard. The largest remaining unaltered mammalian migration in the world is the pinnacle wildlife experience of the Serengeti. The migration features over 1.3 million wildebeest, 250,000 zebra, 500,000 gazelles, and tens of thousands of topi, hartebeest, and impala. This statistic is one of the main reasons the migration was selected as one of the 7 natural wonders of Africa. Serengeti National Park is Africa's most famous park due to the largest concentration of game on the continent and the migration of millions of wildebeest. The most impressive nature documentaries were shot in this beautiful park. Serengeti comes from the Maasai language meaning endless plains, and this rightly describes it. With almost 15,000 square kilometers, 6,000 sq miles, Serengeti National Park is the second largest park in Tanzania. The Serengeti ecosystem is a geographical region in Africa, spanning the Mara and Arusha regions of Tanzania. The protected area within the region includes approximately 30,000 square kilometers, 12,000 square miles of land, including the Serengeti National Park and several game reserves. The Serengeti hosts the second largest terrestrial mammal migration in the world, which helps secure it as one of the 7 natural wonders of Africa. The Serengeti is also renowned for its large lion population and is one of the best places to observe prides in their natural environment. Approximately 70 large mammal and 500 bird species are found there. This high diversity is a function of diverse habitats, including riverine forests, swamps, kopjes, grasslands, and woodlands. Blue wildebeest, gazelles, zebras, and buffaloes are some of the commonly found large mammals in the region. The Serengeti also contains the Serengeti district of Tanzania. The name Serengeti is often said to be derived from the word Serengeti in the Maasai language, ma, meaning endless plains. Dubious, discuss however, this etymology does not appear in Ma dictionaries. For eons, Serengeti was sparsely inhabited as species of African wildlife have roamed freely across the vast rolling plains. However, this changed when nomadic pastoralists of the Maasai began to migrate to the area in the early 19th century. They were hurt by drought and disease. Thousands died in the 1880s from a cholera epidemic and in 1892 from smallpox. Rinderpest, a bovine viral disease, then wiped out the cattle which were their possessions. Later in the 20th century the Tanzanian government resettled the Maasai around the Ngorongoro crater. Poaching, and the absence of fires, which had been caused by humans, allowed dense woodlands and thickets to develop over the next 30 to 50 years. Tsetse fly populations now prevented any significant human settlement in the area. By the mid-1970s, wildebeest and Cape buffalo populations had recovered and were increasingly cropping the grass, reducing the amount of fuel available for fires. The reduced intensity of fires has allowed acacia to once again become established. In the 21st century, mass rabies vaccination programs for domestic dogs in the Serengeti have not only indirectly prevented hundreds of human deaths, but also protected wildlife species such as the endangered African wild dog. Each year around the same time, the circular great wildebeest migration begins in the Ngorongoro Conservation Area of the southern Serengeti in Tanzania and loops clockwise through the Serengeti National Park and north towards the Masai Mara Reserve in Kenya. This migration is naturally caused by the availability of grazing. The initial phase lasts from about January to March, when the calving season begins, a time when there is plenty of rain-ripened grass available for the 260,000 zebras that precede 1.7 million wildebeest and the following hundreds of thousands of other plains game, including around 470,000 gazelles. During February, the wildebeest are on the short grass plains of the southeast part of the ecosystem, grazing and giving birth to approximately 500,000 calves in 2 to 3 weeks. Few calves are born ahead of time and of these, hardly any survive, largely because very young calves are more noticeable to predators when mixed with older calves from the previous year. As the rains end in May, the animals start moving northwest into the areas around the Grumeti River, where they typically remain until late June. The crossings of the Grumeti and Mara rivers beginning in July are a popular safari attraction because crocodiles are lying in wait. The herds arrive in Kenya in late July/August, where they stay for the rest of the dry season, except that the Thompsons and Grant's gazelles move only east/west. In early November, with the start of the short rains, the migration starts moving south again, to the short grass plains of the southeast, usually arriving in December in plenty of time for calving in February. About 250,000 wildebeest die during the journey from Tanzania to the Masai Mara National Reserve in southwestern Kenya, a total of 800 kilometers, 500 miles. Death is usually from thirst, hunger, exhaustion, or predation, including by big cats. The Serengeti has some of East Africa's finest game areas. Besides being known for the Great Migration, the Serengeti is also famous for its abundant large predators. The ecosystem is home to over 3,000 lions, 1,000 African leopards, and 7,700 to 8,700 spotted hyenas, crocuta. The East African cheetah are also present in Serengeti. African wild dogs are relatively scarce in much of the Serengeti. This is particularly true in places such as Serengeti National Park, where they became extinct in 1992, in which lions and spotted hyenas, predators that steal wild dog kills and are a direct cause of wild dog mortality, are abundant. The Serengeti is also home to a diversity of grazers, including Cape buffalo, African elephant, warthog, Grant's gazelle, eland, waterbuck, and topi. The Serengeti can support this remarkable variety of grazers only because each species, even those closely related, has a different diet. For example, wildebeests prefer to consume shorter grasses, while plains zebras prefer taller grasses. Similarly, dik-diks eat the lowest leaves of a tree, impalas eat the leaves that are higher up, and giraffes eat leaves that are even higher. The governments of Tanzania and Kenya maintain a number of protected areas, including national parks, conservation areas, and game reserves, that give legal protection to over 80% of the Serengeti. Near Lake Victoria, floodplains have developed from ancient lake beds. In the far northwest, acacia woodlands are replaced by broadleaved Terminalia comridum woodlands, caused by a change in geology. This area has the highest rainfall in the system and forms a refuge for the migrating ungulates at the end of the dry season. Altitudes in the Serengeti range from 920 to 1,850 meters, 3,020 to 6,070 feet, with mean temperatures varying from 15 to 25 degrees Celsius, 59 to 77 degrees Fahrenheit. Although the climate is usually warm and dry, rainfall occurs in two rainy seasons, March to May, and a shorter season in October and November. Rainfall amounts vary from a low of 508 millimeters, 20 in the lee of the Ngorongoro Highlands to a high of 1,200 millimeters, 47 on the shores of Lake Victoria. The area is also home to the Ngorongoro Conservation Area, which contains Ngorongoro Crater and the Olduvai Gorge, where some of the oldest hominin fossils have been found. Serengeti National Park offers so much more beauty than just the wildebeest migration. You can see a variety of landscapes and wildlife unlike anywhere else in Africa. The endless plains are home to more than 4,000 lions, 1,000 leopards, 225 cheetahs, and 3,500 hyenas. It's no surprise there are so many predators due to the abundance of wildebeest, zebras, gazelles, and buffaloes. The Serengeti is also one of the best places to see the Big Five: rhino, buffalo, elephant, lion, and leopard. Almost all the famous African animals are present in this majestic park. This includes rare animal species like the pangolin, East African oryx, rhino, and wild dog. The Serengeti National Park is one of the most coveted safari destinations in the world. There is no question of if you will see anything but rather how many of which ones. Speaking of the Big Five, there are approximately 3,000 lions, 1,000 leopards, and 5,000 elephants. The most abundant is the buffalo with approximately 53,000 of them. Unfortunately, there are only 31 individual rhinoceroses left in the park because of poaching. The expanse of the Serengeti National Park creates the opportunity for endless roaming as safari-goers pursue their ultimate wildlife encounters. Ballooning over the plains itself is stunning, however, it is awe-inspiring to balloon over the migration herd to actually get a panoramic view of its enormity. One of the most exciting natural facets of the migration occurs in September or October when the migrating herd of wildebeest, zebra, and other ungulates cross the Mara River into Kenya and the Masai Mara National Park. Watching hundreds of wildebeest cross the river at any given moment is a spectacular sight. It will also leave you speechless if you witness one of the crocodiles in the river capture one of the members of the cross herd. Thank you for watching this video.